Hello everyone, this is Ankush Jain, and in today's video I will show you how you can implement Amazon Cognito Authentication in your Flutter app. We are going to use AWS Amplify to achieve this. So without wasting much time, let's get started. So first let's understand what we are going to cover in this video, what you are going to learn out of this video. So first, I have divided this video in two parts. First, I will show you how you can create Amazon Cognito user pool that is required before you implement authentication. So what is Amazon Cognito user pool? In simple terms, it is a user directory where all your users or all your application users will be registered. If you are going to use Amazon Cognito user pool, then you don't have to worry about tasks such as implementing login, registration, forgot password, multi-factor authentication. All those things will be very easy to implement with the help of Amazon Cognito user pool. I will show you how to create one. In the second part, we are going to learn how we can integrate Cognito authentication in your Flutter app. So once we have created the user pool, how we can implement the same in our Flutter app. Implement the authentication with that user pool in our Flutter app. So let's start with the step one, which is creating an Amazon Cognito user pool. I'm assuming that when you are watching this video and you are coming to this video, you must be having an AWS account. So let's jump to that AWS account and create an Amazon Cognito user pool. Here you will find all the recently used services, but if you don't find Cognito here, just type Cognito and select Cognito. Okay. Now click create user pool. If you don't get user pool option here, then you can find it here. User pools. Select create user pool. Close this. Okay, now we have to follow this wizard where we have, there are 6 steps, but it's very easy. Let's just follow as I do. Authentication provider, don't select federated identity providers. And in the Cognito user pool sign in option, just select email to keep this demo simple. Select next. Password policy, select Cognito defaults. Multi-factor authentication, as of now select no MFA because we don't want to complicate this demo. But if you need, then you can select required or optional. Then just select next. On the configure sign up experience, don't do anything, just scroll down to the bottom and here select next. Okay, here stop. For the required attributes, you can select name, like when a user is registering himself, so you want that user should enter his or her name. So I'm making the name field as required field. Apart from that, everything is optional. One thing, email is already made required because we have selected it in our first step. Like users should be able to log in with their email, so that's why email has also been automatically mandatory by Cognito user pool. And apart from email, there is name. Okay, select next. Then for the email, as of now, we want to send email with Cognito. So just select this, select next. User pool name. So just provide a unique user pool name for this reason. So I will uh, Cognito, sorry, I will provide the name Cognito Auth Flutter Demo. Okay, this is my user pool name. And then I don't need Cognito hosted UI as of now. For the initial app client, I will select public client. I will provide the same name with the app client suffix. I won't generate any client secret, and that's all. I will select next. And in the last step, review and create, just review everything. And I will just scroll down to the bottom and I will create user pool. So my user pool has been created, and now I'm good with the step one. And what is there in step two? So note down below things: Cognito user pool ID and app client ID. Okay, so this is your user pool ID. So I'm opening a notepad window here and I'm bringing it here. This is my user pool ID. And if I open this user pool, I go to app integration, and in app integration, scroll down, you will find the app client list, and this is the app client. So here I will also copy the client ID. Okay, so these two things would be required at later point of time. So now we are done with the two steps, initial two steps. Now moving to the second part of this application where we are going to integrate the authentication in our Flutter app. But before that, we have to build Flutter app. So the step three exactly talks about that. We have two options to create a Flutter app. Either we go with the command line or we go with the Visual Studio code user interface. So I will go with the second one. However, you can also go with the first one. Just type this command and create a new app. But I have already installed Flutter plugin here. That might not be visible here in the extensions. But if I just type Control Shift P, then I get this menu, and I type Flutter, then I get all the options which are available here related to Flutter. So I will just select Flutter new project and I will select the application. So select application, and then I will choose a path where I want to create this application. So here, uh, I guess, yeah, okay, okay, let me go ahead and okay, just select this folder where I want to create my application, and this application name would be Cognito Auth Flutter. Okay, the Flutter project name should be lowercase, and I think dash are not allowed, so I will use underscore. Okay, now it is fine. So I will just hit enter, and my app is getting created. You can see under the hood it is also running the similar command flutter create template app, and which is what I have specified here. So now see, our app has been created here, and if I go and right reveal in file explorer, let's see here. So inside POC it has created a new application Cognito Auth Flutter demo, and where all my files are present. So we are done with the step 3. We have created a new Flutter application. Okay, now with the step 4, sorry, we are going to follow the AWS documentation to how to implement authentication using AWS Amplify. So I have provided this link, and I will also recommend you to open this link and follow the steps which are exactly uh, provided by AWS team here on this page. I have just provided all the steps from there on this page as well, so you can just kind of use your judgment to figure out what command to run and what steps to follow. Okay, so now we are going to install following Amplify libraries. Then again, if you go here, you are on Flutter because here are multiple frameworks. We have selected Flutter, and here, if I just close this, so you see there are many options available: authentication, GraphQL, REST API, storage. So Amplify, basically, if you are not aware about Amplify allows you to build your front end application in whatever framework, whether it is Android, React Native, Angular, Next.js, Vue, Flutter, or in vanilla JavaScript. So there are a lot of libraries available in these languages, and which makes very easy to build application, front end application utilizing AWS services. For example, storage is connected with Amazon S3, REST API is connected to Amazon API Gateway, GraphQL is connected with the AWS AppSync, and authentication is connected with Amazon Cognito. So, for all the basic needs that you need to build a full stack application in your front end app, the Amplify framework provides all the libraries and all the UI components, which makes this development very easy. Okay, so I won't take much time here, but I just wanted to give you an overview about AWS Amplify. So we are implementing authentication. We are just dealing with authentication, and I have provided you the link of this page, setup Amplify Auth. So The first step is install Amplify libraries, and you see there are two libraries, Amplify Flutter and Amplify Auth Cognito. Amplify Flutter is the primary library, you have to install it. So what you need to do, you just need to copy this command, and you just need to, okay, let me close all these things, and I will go in terminal, and I just do this flutter pub add amplify flutter, and this will basically add this package in my pub spec YAML file. So if you notice, if you go in your pub spec YAML file, you will find that amplify flutter has been added once you run this command. The second thing, or the second package that we need to run is basically amplify auth cognito, which is for Cognito. If you are using storage, then you will find something amplify underscore S3 storage or storage. I don't know the exact name, but this is for Cognito. So for that, I have already provided the command here. So you can just copy this and run it. And once you run it, you this pub spec.yaml file will update, and you will find this has been added here. So now you are done, or you have installed all the necessary packages that you need to that are required for authentication. Second thing, you need to create amplify configuration.dart. Okay, I will tell you why. Okay, just first understand why, then we will create. Then the second thing is, or the second step defined here is set up backend resources. So there are multiple ways to set up backend resources. Um, l- l- I mean, most of the documentation or videos focus on amplify CLI, but here in this video we are not going to use amplify CLI. Personally, I feel that creating resources manually or via other ISA script and then using in our amplify code is much easier, or we have more control over them because we know how to create them. We as because if you see, we have created entire user pool by our own. Now we know that how to create each and everything in the user pool. That is not happening by underlying CLI commands. So we are going to use existing resources option here. So because we have our AWS resources already existing, so they recommend that you should create an amplify configuration dart file, and you just need to copy this entire configuration there. So what we are going to do here is we are going to go in lib folder, and I will just select that plus icon, and we'll create an amplify configuration dart file, and I will just close this, and I will copy this entire thing, and I will paste it. Now why we need to create this amplify configuration? Because this amplify application, we have installed already the packages, but this application, Flutter application, need to know where are my resources. So that's why all the configuration has to be put in this amplify configuration dart. Because we are only dealing with the Cognito authentication at the moment, we just need to remove this credential provider, because it is talking about Cognito identity pool. Identity pool is used for accessing AWS services with the temporary Cognito credentials. But since we are not going to use AWS services, we don't need Cognito identity pool at the moment. So I'm going to remove this, and we will need pool ID, app client ID. As I said, we have already noted them down. So I will just copy this. I will replace this pool ID with the app pool ID, user pool ID, and the client ID with Cognito user pool app client ID. And the reason is AP South 1 for me. Now in the auth section, since we are not using hosted UI, so I will also remove this entire section here, auth. We are not using hosted UI, so uh, keeping the minimal changes in this file. So if you see our Cognito, our Amplify configuration dart file is, has become quite smaller. And just save this. And if you don't want to make these changes manually, then you can also copy these changes from here, because I have already removed those changes. Uh, I just figured out that, okay, uh, okay, here are few things. Okay, so that because which are not present here, and actually I identified those things would be required. So uh, you can copy this password protection settings here. Okay, I will show you why we would need it, but as of now uh, I'm not copying it. So we are done with the step 6. We have created amplify configuration dart. Next thing, we need to create configure the Flutter app with Amplify configuration. Since we have created the configuration, the next thing, what does it suggest? Initialize Amplify Auth. So I will just copy this entire file because it is simple main file, and where we are creating a main my app widget inside main method. So I will go here in main dart, and I will replace this existing stateless widget and entire code with the one that have been provided here. Okay, and I have also provided the same here, so you can copy it from the documentation because it would be the latest. Now we have copied it here, so you see the main thing to notice here is to amplify inside init state. We have a configure amplify method, and this configure amplify is doing nothing. It's just basically uh, reading the amplify configuration from amplify configuration dart file that we created. So if you see that we have imported this amplify configuration dart on the top, and because of that we are having amplify config here. So let me see if it is IntelliSense is working or not. Okay, I don't know why it is taking. Okay, meanwhile it is loading. Let's understand what it is doing. Since we are using Amplify Authentication plugin, so that's why. Okay, now it has come. So I will just select this. Okay. Okay. So since we are only using authentication plugin, that's why we are using Amplify Auth Cognito. If we are using storage plugin, then we would have added Amplify storage here, and then added this in add plugin here as well. And lastly, we will call AWS amplify.configure method, and inside that we will provide this amplify string. If I press F12, then it will take me to the amplify configuration dart. Okay, so simply this is something we are configuring the amplify in this Flutter app, and we are doing it in our my app, so which is our our kind of entry point of this Flutter app. So we have created configuration, we have configured our application to use amplify configuration. Next thing, is adding authenticator, because now we need to build a UI where user can come and enter their username, password. So for that, you just need to visit this link. Again, I'm taking you to the Amplify documentation. So nothing I have built my own. I have just taken. I have just um, use Amplify documentation and put those steps in my this page, and I will provide the description link of this page in the description below. So if I go here, you see. Here we select Flutter, and if you see, this is how the UI will look like. Create account, sign up for an iOS, Android and web. So I will scroll down and I will just go to the step 1, configure backend, which is not required because we are not using CLI, so just ignore this. For the install dependencies, we have already installed these dependencies. We need to install Amplify Authenticator. So we will run this command, Amplify Authenticator. Here in this will update our pub/spec YAML file. Okay, this has been added. So now we have added the UI component as well. Then step 3, add the authenticator. So you see this entire file is similar what we have copied from here, except if you notice in the build part, here it is using authenticator and authenticator.build. So if I just copy this override part or this build method and replace this build method with my current one, so you see I have to add the required namespaces or references. So this is done. So I am done with all the changes. I guess, yeah. So we have added the Authenticator UI as well. So we have done with all the changes that we need to do. Now we will run this application, and I believe that we will get some error, and then we have to make some modifications in this Amplify configuration dart. But before that, let's run this application. So to run this application, you have to first again control shift P and then select device. So if I you don't see the select device option, then you just need to type Flutter, and then you will see this Flutter select device. And initially I want to run this application in Chrome browser, then I will run this application in mobile emulator. So I will just select Chrome, then I will come to main dart, and I will just press F5, and it should launch my Flutter application in Google Chrome browser. So let's wait. I'm pausing my video. So you see the application has been launched, but there are certain errors. It took some time initially, but this has been launched. The Flutter app, it is running on my local host, but there are certain errors, and if you read out the message, it says the Amplify configuration dart is missing the following required attribute, which is username, sign up attribute, password protection setting. That's why I was talking about the one that I have mentioned here. So you won't find these attributes, these three attributes in on this page, in on this page particular. So this Amplify configuration dart doesn't have those attributes. So what you will need to do, you just need to copy these three attributes and update your Amplify configuration dart. And I guess, okay, let's replace the entire Auth section to be more uh, error. Okay, so we have replaced this entire section, and I will just save this. The hot reload has applied, and let's see. Okay, you see, now we can see this entire UI has been created on the local host page. So if, okay, you see, if I just make it like this, it will provide me the look and feel like this is how the app will look in the mobile. And if I just make it more, uh, if I increase height and width, then it will this is how it will look in the web application. So you see, email, password, name, everything is here. And if you just try to create an account, you will find the validations are here: email, password, confirm password, and name is coming because we have created a name as a required field. Now if you notice here, once you create name field required there, but again you have to specify those sign up attributes here, otherwise it may or may not show. So if I just remove this, and let's see, because email is something which is required because the user is going to log in with email, so that's why we are using username attributes as an email. But for sign up, if I just remove it, and let's see what is the behavior. Okay, so you see the name has been removed from here, although you have make it required there. So I will just again put the email and name here, and it will appear here. The next thing I would like to call out here is you can also change the sequence, because as of now the name is coming on the bottom, and password and email and these sequence. So I want that name should come on top, then email, then password, then confirm password. So if you go here in in the UI documentation, in the configuration section, so you will find that there are multiple options. So for example, what you want to show when this authenticator page launch, you want the sign in to be shown first or create account to be shown first. So similarly, I will go here in there must be an option to add sign up attributes. Yeah, all attributes. Okay, yeah, this is how. Okay, I will just copy this from here and will implement here an authenticator builder, I guess. Is this it right? Authenticator, not builder. Uh-huh. Give me a minute. Let me check. Okay, so I figured out how I did it. So basically, we need to add this sign up form here, and here we can specify the fields which we want to be part of sign up form. And here I have specified name, email, password, and password confirmation. Those fields which were already coming, but I wanted to change the sequence. So now it is coming like this: name, email, password, and confirm password. What I will do, I just want to avoid this optional, because as of now only those two are coming as optional. So I will add this required. So if I go here and see the name, email, password, the optional has been removed, and this is how it is coming. Okay, so now let's test this application by creating an account. So I will just type my name, and I will provide my email address, which is my personal email address, and I will enter a password. uh, and I will create an account. So I have received an verification code from Amazon Cognito, and then I will uh, check that code. So give me a minute. Okay, I will have to check it here. So the code that I have got is this, which I will enter here, and I will just confirm. And the moment I confirm, a user in my Cognito user pool will be created, and it will show me as you are logged in. Okay, so if I go back to my, okay, just close this here. I will also close this window, and you see incognito user pool. Inside users, you see the user has been created and status is confirmed. So this is how you can implement the Cognito authentication in your Flutter app. And again, I we are not done with all steps. So okay, so I have shown you how we can run this app in the web browser, but I will also show you how we can run this app in Android emulator and how it will look. We have already registered a user for the testing. Apart from that, once you implement authentication, you may also need different methods. Like I want to access the current user name, I want to get user information, or the ID token or access token associated with the user. So for that, I have provided these links. So if you open these links, then you can find like Amplify provides libraries. So you just need to use that library like Amplify dot fetch auth session. With this, you will get the information whether user is currently signed in or not, or you want to get AWS credentials. So there are a lot of methods have been exposed in these libraries. You will certainly find one method to get the ID token or access token. But as of now, I am not aware about those methods right away in my memory. But you can explore these Amplify libraries to get current user information, to further utilize them in your application. So I just wanted to call this thing also out to you guys. Now the last thing is pending is running the app in Android emulator. So for that, what we are going to do, I'm going to go in Android Studio, and I will first start my uh, device. And meanwhile, I will also go here in select device. I will select pixel. Okay, and I will go here in device manager. In device manager here, okay, so it has already been started once I did from there. But yeah, I was just trying to start it from here. So the device is coming here. Let me bring it here. So this process may take some time, so I'm just pausing my video and will resume once the app is running here. So I got some compile error here in compile SDK version. So to fix the issue, I have to update this to 34. So what I will do, I will go here in Android inside app in build Gradle, and I will find this compile SDK. Then I will update this to 34, and then I will retry. So I will stop this, and then I will go to main dart and will press F5 again, and now again see if it fixes the issue or not. I'm again pausing my video because this process might take some time because it basically creates the APK first and then launches that APK on the emulator. So the app is now built, and you can see the message here, built app debug APK, and it has been launched here in the emulator as well. So uh, yeah, you can see it is loading and we are getting the messages. So you can see it is running now. Sign in and create. So let's try to log in with the uh, account that we created earlier. So if I just log in with the credentials, and I should be able to log in. Yeah, you can see the app is showing you are logged in, and the message is coming basically from here. So if I just select log, you are logged in, dude, and just save this, so it the hot reloading will work and it will be updated here. Okay, so and one more thing I would like to tell you, like I had to just update this min SDK version and target SDK version to these values in order to make it work, and compile SDK version to 34. So this is basically an Android related thing, but nothing to related with the Cognito and Flutter. But I just make these changes in order to make it work. So now you have understood how you can implement the authentication with Amazon Cognito in your Flutter app, in whether you want to run it on browser or want to run in Android or maybe in iOS, it should work. So that's all I wanted to cover, and I hope that you have liked this video. If you liked it, then please like this video on right below and subscribe my channel for more such videos. Thank you very much.